Am I the asshole for refusing to give my parents half of my £4 million lottery winnings? I'm a 19-year-old guy, and earlier this year, my life changed overnight. I won just over £4 million in the lottery. Even writing that still feels unreal. I know most people dream about winning that kind of money, but until it actually happens to you, it's impossible to understand how strange it feels. One day you're worrying about normal things, and the next you're looking at a bank account that completely changes your future. I tried to be responsible from the beginning. Instead of rushing out and buying expensive cars or wasting it on luxury holidays, I met with financial advisors and invested most of the money into several index funds. My goal was simple: make sure the money lasts and gives me financial security for the rest of my life. For about a week, I kept the news to myself. Eventually, I decided to tell my parents. We've always had a good relationship. They've supported me throughout my life, and I was genuinely excited to share the news with them. I imagined we'd celebrate together and talk about all the possibilities. At first, that's exactly what happened. They were shocked, excited, and they hugged me. For a while, it felt like one of the happiest moments our family had ever shared. Soon after that, things started getting weird. They began talking about plans for the future. They discussed retiring early, talked about taking luxury holidays, and even mentioned buying a new car, a boat, traveling around the world. And at first, I thought they were just joking around or imagining what they would do if they won the lottery themselves. But the longer the conversation went on, the more I realized they weren't talking about their money. They were talking about mine. The conversations became increasingly specific. My parents started discussing life changes they could make as if the money already belonged to them. Eventually, I asked them directly, how much do you really actually expect to get? I figured maybe they'd expect a gift, maybe enough to help with retirement, or enough to take a nice holiday. Instead, they looked at me completely serious and said, half. Half? £2 million. I honestly thought they were joking. When I realized they weren't, I was stunned. No, don't get me wrong. I understand that £4 million is a lot of money. Even after giving away half, I would still have £2 million left. But that wasn't the point. The point was that they were acting like they were entitled to it. I never bought a lottery ticket together with them. They didn't contribute to the winnings. The money was legally and financially mine. Yet they seemed to view it as a family money that should automatically be split. I tried explaining my perspective calmly. I told them I absolutely wanted to help them. In fact, before any of this happened, I had already been thinking about giving them a substantial gift as a way of thanking them for everything they'd done for me growing up. The amount I'd settled on was £750,000. To me, that seemed incredibly generous. Their mortgage is already paid off, and they have savings. Neither of them is struggling financially. £750,000 would dramatically improve their retirement and allow them to enjoy life without financial stress. So, I presented it as a compromise. I said that while I wasn't comfortable giving away half of my winnings, I would happily give them £750,000. I genuinely thought they would be grateful. Instead, they became angry, extremely angry. They rejected my offer immediately. They said I was being selfish. They accused me of valuing money over family. They argued that because they had raised me and supported me for 19 years, they deserved more. The discussion quickly turned into an argument. I kept trying to explain that I wasn't refusing to help them. I wasn't giving them nothing. I was offering an amount that most people would consider life-changing, but they wouldn't hear it. As far as they were concerned, anything less than the £2 million they originally expected was unacceptable. Since then, the argument has been going back and forth. Every conversation somehow circles back to the money. What hurts the most is that this has changed how I see the situation. Before they demanded half, I was excited to give them a large gift. I wanted to share some of my good fortune. But once they started acting entitled to it, something shifted. Instead of feeling generous, I started feeling pressured. And the more pressure they applied, the less comfortable I became. I never expected winning the lottery to create problems with my family. If anything, I thought it would bring us closer together. Instead, it feels like the money has become the only thing anyone wants to talk about. After thinking about it for weeks, I'm starting to wonder whether my original offer was too generous. A lot of people I've spoken to have pointed out that demanding half of someone's winnings isn't gratitude, it's entitlement. Some people even suggested that I should reduce the amount I offer or even stop discussing money with them entirely until emotions cool down. The truth is, despite everything, I still love my parents. I still appreciate everything they've done for me. I still want to help them. That's why I offered the £750,000 in the first place. But I can't shake the feeling that if I give in now, I'll be setting a precedent that my money belongs to everyone except me. I worked hard to make responsible decisions after winning. I invested the money. I avoided reckless spending. I thought carefully about how to help the people I care about. Yet somehow I'm selfish for not wanting to hand over £2 million. Maybe I'm missing something or being unreasonable. But from where I'm standing, being expected to give away half of a lottery prize simply because my parents want it doesn't feel right. So, am I the asshole for refusing to give my parents half of my £4 million lottery winnings?